Modern cybercrime has completely industrialized. We aren't dealing with isolated hackers poking around a single system anymore. What we're looking at today, what this explainer is going to dive into, is a high-speed, highly structured retail assembly line. It's the ransomware pipeline revealed by the FortiBleed campaign, where a strict division of labor allows one operator to harvest credentials at massive scale and monetize them through multiple ransomware panels weeks after the initial theft. And here is the cold, hard truth of the matter. Your company login, that key you rely on every single day, it's currently a line item in someone else's digital inventory. We've got to totally reframe how we look at standing credentials. They aren't these secure static keys guarding a fortress door. To a modern threat actor, your credentials are just durable retail inventory. They're literally a product sitting on a digital shelf, just waiting to be sold. Let's get right into Section 1, the FortiBleed discovery. Mass credential harvesting at scale. If you want undeniable proof of this economic teardown, just look at SOCRadar's data on the FortiBleed campaign. The sheer scale here is absolutely staggering. 430,000. Hackers scanned over 430,000 FortiNet devices. Just let that sink in for a second. They weren't doing this to immediately ransom every single device, right? Instead, they deployed custom packet sniffers to harvest logins in transit on a massive industrial scale. Let's break down the hard data and actually track this funnel because it perfectly illustrates that assembly line in action. They scanned 11,250 FortiGate administrative portals across more than 150 countries. From that massive net they cast, they secured 409 confirmed admin-level accesses. And at the very bottom of that funnel, at least 12 direct ransomware deployments resulted directly from this harvested access. This isn't random. It's a highly calculated global numbers game. But what SOCRadar found at the very end of that pipeline is just fascinating. They tracked down a server tied to the FortiBleed infrastructure where a single shadow operator was logged into the negotiation panels for both the INC and Lynx ransomware operations simultaneously. One single operator seamlessly managing extortions for two completely distinct ransomware brands at the exact same time. And this brilliantly illustrates the reality of the cybercrime assembly line. We are talking about a strict structural division of labor. One group operates way up at the top of the funnel, harvesting credentials at an internet-wide scale. They don't encrypt files, they literally just collect keys. Then, a completely different group buys those keys to actually deploy the ransomware. Hackers aren't just breaking in anymore, guys. They are running an incredibly efficient retail distribution business with multiple storefronts. Which brings us to Section 2, the structural gap. Why stolen keys retain their value? Well, this entire pipeline only exists because of a core structural failure. Traditional credentials carry full power across organizational boundaries, and they don't just expire on their own. If we trace the lifespan of a stolen key, you can see exactly how it becomes durable inventory. On day one, the credential is harvested, but instead of being used right then and there, it sits for weeks, meticulously cataloged. It might literally be months before that access is finally monetized via ransomware. It's just sitting dormant, waiting for the highest bidder. And that is the crucial point to remember here. The problem is that our credentials stay valid for months, giving the pipeline plenty of time to turn your data into a payday. Traditional credentials are valid by default, and they don't expire unless somebody manually revokes them. That massive window of time? That's exactly what the criminal supply chain relies on to operate. So that leads us to a pretty fundamental question. If we are facing a highly structured retail distribution business, how do you beat a retail operation? We really need to shift our mindset entirely away from reactive incident response and start thinking aggressively about supply chain disruption. The answer? You spoil the inventory before it can be sold. That is literally the only way to break a monetization pipeline. You don't just try to build a taller wall, you make the product they stole completely worthless by the exact moment it reaches the buyer. Because if the access isn't durable, their entire economic model just collapses. That takes us to Section 3, breaking the pipeline, the DevFortress angle. Now, the DevFortress mission isn't to just add another layer of noisy alerts. It's an urgent brief to actively break the ransomware monetization pipeline at the structural level. And it does this through what we call context-bound access. Basically, this means a credential has absolutely no authority, validity, or value outside its original authorized execution context. If a packet sniffer grabs a token from a FortiNet device, that token doesn't grant standing transferable account access. Outside its specific authorized boundary, it resolves to absolutely nothing. Let's look at the publicly stated rapid outcomes when this methodology is actually in place. Step 1. A context boundary is violated by an attacker trying to use a harvested key. Step 2. Automated containment triggers in under 2 seconds. Step 3. That harvested key immediately becomes spoiled, worthless inventory. DevFortress acts faster than any human operator ever could, and critically, it acts vastly faster than any ransomware pipeline could ever hope to monetize the access. Contrasting the two approaches really shows exactly how the pipeline gets broken. The outdated traditional credentialed model has a lifespan of months to years, transfers with full power across boundaries, and acts as a high-value retail product for criminals. But with DevFortress, that sub-2-second containment and context-bound access instantly turned that exact same harvested key into spoiled, completely worthless inventory. You are actively starving the cybercrime supply chain. So, the directive for enterprise IT leaders is crystal clear. Stop being a product in their pipeline. You can grab the DevFortress Master Edition at devfortress.net to learn exactly how to make your credentials worthless to a thief. It is absolutely time to change the fundamental object we are defending. I want to leave you with a final provocative thought to really cement this structural gap in your mind. If your credentials were stolen today, like right now, how many months would they sit as valid, fully powered inventory waiting to be sold to a ransomware operator? If you don't know the answer to that, or if the answer relies on a human catching it, well, it's definitely time to rethink the durability of your access keys.